Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naran Namaskritya Naram Cha Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayantiriyet Nashtaprahishu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, Chapter 1, The Spiritual Masters. Shlok number 53 onwards. So Krishna, or Kaviraj Das Goswami is talking about Krishna, what he speaks about himself, and how he mentioned yesterday that by his causeless mercy, one can know him, because he is, in his position, his everything is so beyond our understanding. Now he says there's 4 verses of Bhagavatam, which is called Chatushloki Bhagavatam. Means this has the essence of Bhagavatam. So first verse is Aham evahasam evahagre nanyad yat sad asat param pasyad aham yad etatcha yo visheshyet so amiham. Prior to the cosmic creation, only I exist and no phenomena exist, either gross, subtle, or primordial. After creation, only I exist in everything, and after annihilation, only I remain eternally. That is Krishna. How to understand? And not even Krishna, that's expansion of expansion of expansion of Krishna. This is Mahavishnu actually. Aham means I. Therefore, the speaker who is saying Aham, I, must have its own personality. The Mayavadi philosophers interpret this word Aham as referring to the impersonal Brahman. The Mayavadis are very proud of their grammatical. But any person who has actual knowledge of grammar can understand that Aham means I, and that I refers to a personality. Therefore, the personality of Godhead speaking to Brahma uses Aham while describing his own transcendental form. Aham has a specific meaning. It's not a vague term that can be whimsically interpreted. Aham, when spoken by Krishna, refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and nothing else. So when he says Aham evasam eva agre, means I existed before the creation. Before the creation and after its dissolution, only the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his associates exist. There is no existence of the material elements. This is confirmed in the Vedic literature. Vasudeva Vaidam Agra Asinam Brahma Nacha Shankara. The meaning of this mantra is that before creation, there was no existence of Brahma or Shiva, for only Vishnu existed. Vishnu exists in his abode, the Vaikunthas. There are innumerable Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky. On each of them, Vishnu resides with his associates and his paraphernalia. It's also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that although the creation is periodically dissolved, there is another abode which is never dissolved. The word creation refers to material creation because in the spiritual world, everything exists eternally and there is no creation or dissolution. So yeah, when he says before the creation, I existed. So creation means material creation, nothing about spiritual creation, because there everything is eternal. The Lord indicates herein that before the material creation, he existed in fullness with all transcendental opulences, including all strength, all wealth, all beauty, all knowledge, all fame, and all renunciation. If one thinks of a king, he automatically thinks of its secretaries, ministers, military commanders, palaces, and so on. Since a king has such opulences, one can simply try to imagine the opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When the Lord says Aham, therefore it is to be understood that he existed with his full potency, including all opulences. That is Krishna. He always had all these opulences, and these opulences are always increasing. Not just they have any limit. The word Yat refers to Brahma, the impersonal effulgence of the Lord. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said, Tad Brahma Nishkalamanantam Ashesha Bhutam. The Brahman effulgence expands unlimitedly. The Brahma Jyoti, or Brahman effulgence, expands unlimitedly, just as the sun is a localized planet, with the sunshine expanding unlimitedly from that source. So the absolute truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his effulgence of energy, Brahman, expanding unlimitedly. We can't even imagine something expanding unlimited. Okay, in material world, okay, from sunlight is coming. For us, it's unlimited. But at least the universe has a size that the sunlight stays within that universe. And of course, sunlight doesn't go below the earthly planet. But what to speak of Brahm Jyoti then? How unlimited that must be. Brahman, from that Brahman energy, the creation appears, just as a cloud appears in sunshine. From the cloud comes rain, from the rain comes vegetation, and from the vegetation come fruits and flowers, which are the basis of subsistence for many other forms of life. Similarly, the effulgent bodily luster of the Supreme Lord is the cause of the creation of infinite universes. So these material universes are caused by the Brahm Jyoti. And also it is mentioned, I think we studied that, this Brahm Jyoti is unlimited, expanding unlimitedly, and there are unlimited number of Vaikuntha planets. And this, and as Prabhupada mentioned, this cloud, creation appears just as a cloud appears in sunshine. So in the corner, insignificant corner of that Brahm Jyoti, there is this cloud, dark cloud of material existence. It doesn't even count. And can we imagine that dark cloud of material existence means millions and millions of material universes. And we are in one of the universe on one of the size-wise very insignificant planet, very small, and on that planet also we might have a little piece of land. And we think we are everything. We are the center of everything. The Brahman effulgence is impersonal, but the cause of that energy is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. From him in his abode, the Vaikuntha's, this Brahma Jyoti emanates. He is never impersonal. Since impersonalists cannot understand the source of the Brahman energy, they mistakenly choose to think this impersonal Brahman the ultimate or absolute goal. But as stated in the Upanishads, one has to penetrate the impersonal effulgence to see the face of the Supreme Lord. If one desires to reach the source of the sunshine, he has to travel through the sunshine to reach the sun and then meet the predominating deity there. The absolute truth is the Supreme Person, Bhagwan, as Srimad Bhagavatam explains. So absolute truth is Supreme Person. But for Mayavadis, they say absolute means impersonal Brahm Jyoti. There is no person, there is no form. Sat means effect, Asat means cause, and Param refers to the ultimate truth, which is transcendental to cause and effect. The cause of the creation is called the Mahatattva, or the total material energy, and its effect is the creation itself. But neither cause nor effect existed in the beginning. They emanated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as did the energy of time. This is stated in the Vedanta Sutra. The source of birth of the cosmic manifestation or Mahatattva is the personality of Godhead. This is confirmed throughout Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. I am the fountainhead of all emanations. The material cosmos, being temporary, is sometimes manifest and sometimes unmanifest. But its energy emanates from the Supreme Absolute Lord. Before the creation, there was neither cause nor effect, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead existed with its full opulence and energy. So before the material creation is manifested, it sometimes manifests, sometimes unmanifest. But the Lord is always there. And that's also one of the reasons it is said that Lord is not a product of this material cosmos, because he existed before the creation happened. The words Pashat Aham indicate that the Lord exists after the dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. When the material world is dissolved, the Lord still exists personally in the Vaikunthas. During the creation, the Lord also exists as he is in the Vaikunthas, and he also exists as the Supersoul within the material universes. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. Golok eva nivasati. Although he is perfectly and eternally present in Golok, Vrindavan, and Vaikuntha, he is nevertheless all-pervading, Akhilatma Bhuta. The all-pervading feature of the Lord is called the Supersoul or Paramatma. So he is in his Vaikuntha planet, Golok, Vrindavan. He is everywhere in a Paramatma feature and also everywhere in Brahmajyoti feature, impersonal form. And so nothing is beyond him. And there's this story of Akbar and Birbal. So once Akbar asked Birbal, who is greater, me or your Lord, Krishna? Akbar was just testing Birbal. And Birbal said, oh my Lord Akbar, Maharaj Akbar, certainly you are greater than Krishna. Akbar said, really? I mean, you say he's Lord, and how can you say I'm greater than him? Birbal said, well, there's something that you can do and he cannot do it. Akbar was completely shocked. What are you talking about? What is it that I can do and your Lord cannot do? Birbal said, well, yes, you can kick somebody out of your kingdom. He cannot. Because everything is his kingdom. There's nothing beyond his kingdom. So this is Krishna. So it's a nice way to understand Birbal's point. So the all-pervading feature of the Lord is called the Supersoul. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Aham Krishnasya Jagata Prabhava. The cosmic manifestation is a display of the energy of the Supreme Lord. It all comes from him. The material elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, display the inferior energy of the Lord, and the living entities are his superior energy. Since the energy of the Lord is not different from him, in fact, everything that exists is Krishna in his impersonal feature. So energy of the Lord, everything is his energy. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. It's his inferior energy. Jiva is superior energy. So in the cosmic creation, there's nothing beyond his energy. Everything is his energy. Even time is his energy. And different modes are his energy. Everything comes from him. So in that way, since the energy of the Lord is not different from him. In fact, everything that exists is Krishna in his impersonal feature. Sunshine, sunlight, and heat are not different from the sun, and yet simultaneously they are distinct energies of the sun. So simultaneous oneness and difference, that is Achintya Bheda Bhed Tattva. Similarly, the cosmic manifestation and the living energy entities are energies of the Lord, and they are considered to be simultaneously one with and different from him. The Lord therefore says, I'm everything, because everything is his energy and is therefore non-different from him. But at the same time, we are different. We are infinitesimal. Krishna is infinite. Yo avishishyecho amiha indicates that the Lord is a balance that exists after the dissolution of the creation. The spiritual manifestation never vanishes. It belongs to the internal energy of the Supreme Lord and exists eternally. When the external manifestation is withdrawn, the spiritual activities in Goloka and the rest of the Vaikunthas continue, unrestricted by material time, which has no existence in the spiritual world. So unrestricted by material time. So spiritual world has its own time. It's not that spiritual world has no time. It's the way to understand is the influence of time is not there in the spiritual world. With time, everything changes. With time, living entity takes birth, takes a body, grows, the body grows, produces some byproducts, dwindles and then vanishes, maintains and dwindles and vanishes. This happens with time. In spiritual world, everything is eternal. Means the influence of time is not there. Time is there because time is Krishna's energy. Time is there. Just like in spiritual world also there is night happens, day, morning happens, and then Krishna gets up, he has his pastime, then he takes the cows and copper friends to Govardhan. In the evening again, evening means time, he comes back. At night he goes to the banks of Yamuna to be with the gopis, and then he rushes back early morning. Because Yashoda Maiya must be coming to his room to wake him up. So the time is there, but the influence of time, when things change, that is not there. When we grow old because of time, but then in spiritual world, nobody grows old. Whatever age they have, it's eternal. The seasons are there, different seasons are there, but they all are there to assist Krishna in his pastimes, not for anything else. Further, next verse is, Rite artham yat pratiyet, na pratiyet cha atmani, tad vidyad atmano mayam, yatha abhaso yatata. What appears to be truth without me is certainly my illusory energy, for nothing can exist without me. It's like a reflection of a real light in the shadows, for in the light there are neither shadows nor reflections. So what appears to be truth, rite artham yat pratiyet, it appears to be true, but it's not true. In the previous verse, the absolute truth and its nature have been explained. One must also understand the relative truth to actually know the absolute. The relative truth, which is called Maya, or material nature, is explained here. Maya has no independent existence. One who is less intelligent is captivated by the wonderful activities of Maya, but he does not understand that behind these activities is the direction of the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Maya Dhyakshena Prakrite Suyate Sacharachara. Material nature is working and producing moving and non-moving beings only by the supervision of Krishna. Maya Adhyakshena, only under my supervision, the Maya is working. Maya has no independent existence. Maya cannot take over Krishna. Mayavadis say, oh, Krishna has come under Maya. No, the Supreme Lord never comes under Maya. The real nature of Maya, the illusory existence of the material manifestation, is clearly explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. The absolute truth is substance, and the relative truth depends upon its relationship with the absolute for its existence. Maya means energy. Therefore, the relative truth is explained to be the energy of the absolute truth. Since it is difficult to understand the distinction between the absolute and relative truths, an analogy can be given for clarification. The absolute truth can be compared to the sun, which is appreciated in terms of two relative truths, which is reflection and darkness. Darkness is absence of sunshine, and reflection is a projection of sunlight into darkness. So darkness and reflection cannot exist without sunshine or without sun. So neither darkness nor reflection has an independent existence. Darkness comes when the sunshine is blocked. For example, if one stands facing the sun, his back will be in darkness. Since darkness stands in the absence of the sun, it is therefore relative to the sun. The spiritual world is compared to the real sunshine, and the material world is compared to the dark regions where the sun is not visible. So material world, Maya, is completely dependent on the Lord, but the Lord is not dependent on Maya. When the material manifestation appears very wonderful, this is due to a perverted reflection of the supreme sunshine, the absolute truth, as confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra. Whatever one can see here has its substance in the absolute. As darkness, it is situated far away from the sun. So the material world is also far away from the spiritual. The Vedic literature directs us not to be captivated by the dark regions, tama, but to try to reach the shining regions of the absolute, yogi dham. So when it says dark regions, comparing the material world to the dark regions, but we say everything is illuminated. In India right now, it's 8:30 a.m. Light is there, sunlight. It's not dark. Dark in the sense of ignorance. Ignorance of the true nature of soul, of everything. That is darkness. Means away from knowledge. The spiritual world is brightly illuminated, but the material world is wrapped in darkness. In the material world, sunshine, moonshine, or different kinds of artificial light are required to dispel darkness, especially at night, for by nature the material world is dark. Therefore, the Supreme Lord has arranged for sunshine and moon. But in his abode, as described in Bhagavad Gita, there is no necessity for lightning by sunshine, moonshine, or electricity, because everything is self-effulgent. And also everything is conscious, knowledgeable, made of Sat, Chit, and Ananda. So that which is relative, temporary, and far from the absolute truth is called Maya, or ignorance. This illusion is exhibited in two ways, as explained in the Bhagavad Gita. The inferior illusion is inert matter, and the superior illusion is the living entity. So inferior illusion is the inert matter. So that is earth, water, fire, air, ether. And mind, intelligence, false ego. And superior illusion is a living entity. Nevertheless, both are in illusion. The living entities are called illusory in this context only because they are implicated in the illusory structures and activities of the material world. Actually, the living entities are not illusion, for they are parts of the superior energy of the Supreme Lord and do not have to be covered by Maya if they don't want to be so. The actions of the living entities in the spiritual kingdom are not illusory. They are the actual eternal activities of liberated souls. But since we are in this material world, in the under the captivation of Maya or darkness or ignorance, we have forgotten who we are. So our activities, our thought process, everything is in illusion, in darkness. So for another reason, we call Tatastha Shakti. So we are part of the superior energy, but we are under Maya. So now it's up to us. Where do we want to go? But without Krishna, nothing can exist. It's all Krishna's energy, whether we understand it or not. It's all Krishna's energy. And it's the Maya, it's so captivating. He has to create it so captivating. So otherwise, we won't even stay here. Somebody can ask, what's the point of staying here? There's no point of us staying here. Point is to develop that dormant love for Krishna. Develop that desire, intense, burning desire. And then when we work on it, yes, now I want to get out of here. Krishna is there to help. And that's why named Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya means who is cognizant. So his causeless mercy will be there. Krishna's mercy will be there. Acharya's mercy will be there. Devotee's mercy to help us. But we have to work on it. So that is why these 4 verses, they are very, very important. They are called Chatushloki Bhagavata. So anyway, we'll stop here, see anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, abhi you just said the innumerable Vaikuntha planets. So, abhi हम जैसे हम बात करते हैं, तो which Vaikuntha planet we are talking about? Because there are so many Vaikuntha planets, as you know, we were just studying.
Yeah,
Is
right.
there any
Like
particular
one planet is Golok Vrindavan. Another is Lord Ram's planet, Ayodhya or Saket. So same, they are in the spiritual world also, but that is much bigger than Ayodhya that we see here. And then one planet is Vamandev's Loka, where Lord Vamandev is performing his best. Varahadeya, Narsingadeya. So they all have their own planets. Is it okay?
Jagannath ji will also have their own planet? I know, बड़ा stupid सा question है, but
नहीं, stupid नहीं है. Jagannath ji, Jagannath Loka, yes, it's a Vaikuntha planet. But Krishna, in the form of Jagannath, in the mood of Jagannath, he is in Golok right now. Now you've asked a question. Brahm Samhita actually explains this. Now, how about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then? He has his own planet? No. See, Golok Vrindavan is obviously it's a very, very big planet, but inner portion of the very, very inner portion is where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagannath means Krishna and Radharani in that mood of separation. They are there in the inner portion of Golok Vrindavan, where only those confidential associates can be there who understand or appreciate or who have that, who want to serve Krishna and Radharani in that mood. It's a very different mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagannath ji. But if Lord Jagannath as Lord, as in the Vaikuntha planet, yes, he is also there as a king.
Okay.
Yes, it's to understand Mahaprabhu and Jagannath, it's very, very difficult. The mood of them, it's very difficult.
अच्छा, एक चीज और भी दिमाग मतलब जस्ट सडन क्वेश्चन है जो है कि जैसे सपोज मैं जगन्नाथ जी को मानती हूँ एंड देयर इज अनदर पर्सन हु वर्शिप राधा कृष्ण एंड कोई और है वो लड्डू गोपाल जी, सो देन मतलब आफ्टर डेथ सपोज अगर हम लोग उतने कैलिबर हैं और क्वालिफाइड हैं तो विल गेट दैट मतलब विल गो टू दैट पर्टिकुलर राधा कृष्णा लोका एंड I'll go to Jagannath ji ka loka and he the person who always worship Ishta Dev uske lok mein jayenge, ऐसा कुछ होता है क्या? I don't know, my question is clear, I don't know.
Yeah, but right now, which is true, but right now what we are doing is we are struggling to do Vedhi Bhakti.
हाँ वो ठीक है नहीं but एक saturated point मतलब एक जगह एक हो सकता है not in this birth, from next birth, next to next birth.
Okay.
कोई ऐसी पॉसिबिलिटी आती है कि जब आप यू आर जैसे मैं एलिजिबल हो गई अब मुझे आफ्टर डेथ मुझे जो है एक पर्टिकुलर लोक में जाना चाहिए मतलब एज पर जो भी कुछ है सिचुएशन, सो थ्रू आउट इतने जो बर्थ बाय बर्थ मैंने जो वर्शिप किया है अपने इष्ट देव को, इष्ट देव इज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू बी चेंज बिकॉज अभी मेरा बर्थ ऐसा में हुआ है तो मैं जगन्नाथ जी को जैसे मानती हूँ, हो सकता है नेक्स्ट बर्थ में मेरा इष्ट देव जो है राधा कृष्ण हो जाए या लड्डू गोपाल जी के लिए प्रति जो है ध्यान हो जाए, सो दैट लोका विल बी चेंज आफ्टर बर्थ एंड बर्थ और एक पर्टिकुलर ऐसे मतलब आफ्टर 100 बर्थ्स के बाद मेरे को एक ऐसा लोका में एलिजिबल हो गई मैं कि मैंने थ्रू आउट इतने सारे बर्थ में मैंने जो है जो वर्शिप किया और जो मुझे लास्ट में मैंने जिसको अपना माना इष्ट देव माना है, आई विल गो टू दैट पर्टिकुलर लोका.
इट डिपेंड्स आपका कहाँ परफेक्शन आता है किस इष्ट देव के लिए.
अच्छा, ओके, दैट वे.
जहाँ पे भी होगा जो भी whatever स्वरूपा is, स्वरूपा means origin position is, it will be revealed whenever.
Okay.
It will come out, it will come forth, and for that Krishna here only will make arrangement that we come in contact with those devotees and we make progress in that way only. And also and the great part, see, this is that way is Bhagwan. Now suppose we all are devotees of Radha and Krishna. Now in Radha Krishna, suppose my affinity is for Radha Parsarthi, and somebody's affinity is for Radha Shyam Sundar of Vrindavan. Somebody likes Radha Madhav or Mayapur. No, they're all Radha Krishna. So when we, suppose 3 of us, we go back to the spiritual world, so who do we meet over there? So Krishna, Radharani, they appear to us in spiritual form, in spiritual world, in the form that we have worshipped. We have developed attachment. Even in Radha Krishna, the whatever forms we have developed attachment for, they will appear to us in that.
Okay.
They are unlimited. And they want to reciprocate with the devotees. They have reciprocated throughout.
Right.
And it's also not like there's only one Radha Krishna in Golok Vrindavan that I'll get a chance after maybe trillions of years to be with them. No, I'll get a chance every day, every moment. They will expand themselves. It's very mystic.
Yes.
He is not that easy to be understood. ठीक है?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Mata. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Shri.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.